What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from Pix 11, advocacy groups seek state help for NYCHA residents. So NYCHA, of course, New York City Housing Authority, and these advocacy groups are trying to help these people who, I guess, are down many months behind on their rent. And we're talking about the housing projects. We're not talking about, expensive high-end rents. We're talking about pretty dilapidated. I mean, every couple of months you see a story about how the heat doesn't work, or there's rats, there's mice, they're not picking up the trash. I mean, the list goes on. But somehow, some way, people can't afford these payments, and advocacy groups are here to help. Now, this is happening as the city is spending billions of dollars for what Eric Adams is calling asylum seekers. And he's making it known. He's blatantly lying to people, saying that these are just asylum seekers. They are here legally, which is completely untrue. But what they have done is make this term asylum seeker into just by way of them saying it makes it true. You don't get to question it. So there's no more such thing as an immigrant. There's definitely no more such thing as an illegal immigrant. It's always asylum seeker now. What else did they do that with? Rona, right? Rona showed up. There's no more flu. There's no more cold. It's all just Rona. And that's exactly what they're doing with these illegals now. It doesn't exist. They're all just asylum seekers. Is there anybody coming to the country legally, doing paperwork and paying fees? Is that happening at all? Or are they all just hopping over and claiming we need asylum, and they're all just buying it, they're wearing it, spending billions of dollars, putting them up in hotels, giving them, food that they threw away? The list goes on. Also, right after they sold $225 million worth of unused Rona equipment for less than a penny on the dollar. So that's what's happening in the city. Meanwhile, the people in the projects can't afford their rent, so they are getting advocacy groups to help.
It looks like an apartment here at the Red Hook houses, but it's actually an apartment converted into an office by two advocacy groups offering help and hope to NYCHA residents. 65-year-old Leticia Cancel tells us in Spanish she cannot sleep. She's stressed out. She can't afford to pay her rent here at the Red Hook houses.
I have a medical problem. I can pay my rent.
Once you get behind, Council says it's impossible to catch up. She applied for rental assistance and there's no money.
No money.
She's not alone.
Oh, there's no money. Where did it go? What happened? I mean, did Bill de Blasio's wife have it? Did it get sent to, the Row Hotel to buy Coronas for illegals? Did it get used to send them to Canada on buses? Did it get used to buy Xboxes for them? Meanwhile, this lady can't pay. And look, she's an older lady. I don't know her situation. She may have not played the cards right. I don't want to pretend like I know her situation, but she could maybe do a little bit better. She could maybe look to family. I don't know. This isn't really about her. This is about the fact that they don't have money to help this woman while they're putting immigrants up in, 5-star hotels on Times Square.
NYCHA confirms to Pix 11 News tenant rent arrears total a whopping $454 million across more than 73,000 households right now.
The cost of living went up, the food. And
73,000 NYCHA households can't pay their rent. So these advocacy groups are stepping in. They might be weirdo bureaucracy scam artists too. Who knows? Nobody can be trusted at this point, especially not in New York City. So nothing's ever going to get done. But somehow, some way, they're rolling out 25-page PDFs to tell New Yorkers that asylum seekers, we're going to send them to college. We're going to do training programs for them. And the New Yorkers that have been there probably for 3 or 4 decades now, we don't really have the money for them. And look, again, I'm not here advocating that everybody gets free money. In fact, I'm advocating that really nobody gets free money. You should probably work for it, as hard as that might be. But it is a little despicable that they would rather give it to this quote-unquote asylum seeker by way of euphemisms and not even using the term. I mean, these people showed up unannounced, right? And they can't say it. They have manipulated the language to where it's completely unrecognizable. So people show up illegally and demand respect. They demand a place to live. They demand their native food. But these people have been here for 3 or 4 decades, arguably, who, again, may not have played all their cards right, should still be in front of the line, I guess I should say. They should still be first to benefit from government doling out free money than the people who just showed up with hand tattoos and Yeezys, demanding, you know, a 12er of Coronas at the Row Hotel.
Insurance, everything went up.
Marissa Reed is the housing resource coordinator here at the Red Hook Community Justice Center.
How long ago did you apply?
Residents can come in and get help with their rent, lease, and repair issues.
I seen them depressed. I seen them sad. I seen some cry.
Reed says out of hundreds of applications for rental assistance so far,
Answers, no money, no emails, no phone calls. The tenants don't know what's going on with their application. And
the state treats.
Yeah, the tenants don't know because they don't care, right? They want you to be chomping at the bit. They want you to be very thankful for the little tiny that they give you. But for whatever reason, they're so eager to give the world on a silver platter to somebody who showed up unannounced. How is this happening?
Treats us like we're invisible.
Betty Bernhardt is an outreach worker with the Red Hook Initiative.
And I wonder, now they're not going to connect these dots, I'm sure, but how are these people feeling about it? If they did the paperwork, if they paid the fees, probably, we don't know. We don't know exactly how they got here, but they're still speaking Spanish, right? So they didn't really put in that much work. But for the sake of argument, say these people showed up legally in 1995 and did the paperwork and it took them 5 years or whatever it was. How do those people feel about the new asylum seekers, right? Like everybody is an asylum seeker. And that is, it's got to be one of the most despicable euphemisms that I've heard, right? We have gender affirming care. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's too many to name, right? But for him to, Eric Adams, that is, to say these people are asylum seekers, they are here legally, that's just untrue. It's just not true. They were bust up after they hopped the fence in Texas and Arizona. And you're pretending that they're just, what are they seeking asylum from, bro? Let me know. Is that in your 25-page PDF, right? But the question I have, I guess, is what do these people who we can assume showed up here legally have to say about the people who showed up here illegally and get everything, right? And they literally protest when they're asked to leave a fancy hotel. What are your thoughts on that?
And blames the state for this housing crisis. A spokesperson for Governor Kathy Hochul's office tells Pix 11 News, quote, the governor worked with the legislature to secure $350 million in NYCHA funding as part of last year's enacted budget.
Yeah, and it probably got siphoned away by completely corrupt kickback Kathy and the now facing trial former Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, right? These people are literally siphoning cash from all of these weird operations in front of your face and then tell you that you're wrong for questioning anything they do.
Announced a $300 million funding agreement to upgrade elevators at 20 NYCHA facilities and signed legislation to create the New York City Public Housing Preservation Trust to repair and modernize NYCHA apartments.
So Governor Kickback Kathy Hochul and Black de Blasio, Eric Adams just order up another $300 million to fix the elevators and repair and modernize NYCHA buildings, which of course is an obvious scam. We can assume that a tiny fraction of a percentage of that money is going to get to people who actually need it. And I can't sit here and advocate for giving away free money to anybody who claims they can't pay their rent, because that, of course, could go on forever and nobody's going to get any help at that point. But why is it that they are so eager, willing, and able to help these illegals who just hopped over the fence? Of course, Eric Adams will call them asylum seekers because they've manipulated the language into nothing, where the words have zero meaning anymore. But why are those people so important when the people who have been here for decades can't get the help that they need? What is happening out here? They have no remorse, right? They have no remorse. They just want you to jump through these hoops. They want you to obey. They want you to believe that for some reason, the illegal immigrant, oh, that's the leader of tomorrow, right? They are more important than you. Who cares? You've been here for 40 years. You might have showed up 100% legally by the book, paid the fees, waited the time, but now these people are at the front of the line some way, somehow. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.